You would need to be playing blindfolded in order to miss them. And even then, I think you would still get them.
Welcome to Ken's Labyrinth.
Welcome once again to Croina vs FPS, where I take Croina, a hard-working professional who isn't a gamer, and force her to play a first-person shooter before giving her thoughts. Today she'll be tackling Ken Silverman's Ken's Labyrinth, a distinct departure from previous titles she has taken on. She'll be using the Lab 3D SDL source port, which provides support for modern creature comforts like widescreen, hardware acceleration, and graphical improvements. Will Ken's Labyrinth enchant Croina like its titles did previously, or will she end up lost and confused? Here are her thoughts on the matter.
So I've been told this was made by one guy. The in-game engine was a bit more rough around the edges. Microsoft Paint comes to mind. The navigation on that game, I had to look in the help options to see what the controls were because it wasn't the usual WASD. You could move around forwards, backwards. You could actually go up, I realised, and I didn't find crouching, but you had to do it all with the arrows. You could use your mouse, which was a bit weird. I found it really hard to control the mouse when I was trying to look around, so the accuracy of it kind of reminded me of that game, you know, with the panda driving the car. The like responsiveness of it kind of reminded me of that. It's okay, it was okay. Okay, so I didn't mind so much that the game was like really colourful and silly looking. I know I said it was a bit rough around the edges, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily make it a bad thing, you know. I guess I appreciated that about how whenever you're navigating your way around, the walls are all different colours. Certain variances in the doors too, so I didn't really mind so much colourfulness of it. It was a bit random. Some of the objects sitting around the place was a bit random, but yeah, I actually quite like the colour scheme. Yeah, it made it kind of interesting, you know. I was aware that there were different weapons only because I went into the help menu to work out how to shoot in the first place. The button for shoot was like shift or control or something, which was a bit weird, but to be honest, I didn't really use any other weapons. I don't even remember what button you had to press. You see, if it isn't like straightforward to change a weapon, like using the roll button on your mouse, then I generally just stick with whatever the default is, and it didn't appear to be running out, so I just kept using it. I was a bit kind of distracted by trying to remember to hit the specific button I needed to hit to shoot, never mind, you know, scrolling through different weapons. And also I was trying to negotiate the fact that the accuracy of navigating around the map was a bit of a challenge. When it came to the actual weapon I used, it was just the default weapon, and it seemed to be if you looked in the general direction of whatever the monster was and hit the control button, then you pretty much just killed it. I guess he did do a good job, you know. It's a fairly simple game that you can kind of play. You know, it's not really that serious. It's not a game that I don't think you get too engrossed in it. It's just like a silly kind of game. It kind of does what it says on the tin. Maybe if you'd have had more time, or I don't know how long you took on this. It does have a slight air of whenever you used to have homework or something to do and you did it the night before. Do you know what? It played the way it played, with the exception of the controls, which were a bit hard for me personally to get my head around, just because I'm so used to the WASD controls. No, it was a good game. Yes, Ken, that was a sterling first attempt at a first-person shooter. A star for effort. Yeah, there wasn't much variation in the monsters I had to fight. They all really kind of moved in the same way. They didn't really sneak up on you. You'd see one in the distance, but you could literally stand there and it wouldn't come towards you until you moved forward a certain amount. You wouldn't have missed them in any way. You would need to be playing blindfolded in order to miss them. And even then, I think you would still get them. There could have been a bit more variation. Are there different monsters in the other levels? I'm not sure. So in the first level, I think it was, I walked in the front door or whatever that was, walked down the corridor, and there was like a slot machine on the left hand side. And I was like, what is this and why is it here? And I thought to myself, let's go over and interact with this. And it just, there was no purpose to it. Absolutely no purpose to it. but it was just glorious. I love stupid, arbitrary things like that where you can just interact with them. You're not going to blow up, you're not going to, your health isn't going to go down. It's just a stupid random thing in the middle of the game that you can interact with. So yeah, I enjoyed the interactivity of it. Right, so the first level, it was fairly straightforward, as I mentioned before, about the walls being, you know, different colours, which really helped navigate your way around. I discovered there was a key to get through a door which led up the stairs to the next level, which actually I thought was kind of cute. Usually you just get a key, you go through the door and then the level just ends, but you had to actually go into another room, up the stairs, and then the level ended. In the second, I think it was the second level, you had to get 2 keys, and that was really where the navigation thing really helped, and that was where I really noticed it, because I found one of the keys kind of towards the end of the level. I went to a door, but it wasn't the right one, and I realised that there was another key, but I knew exactly whenever I went to go and get the other key where I had seen the first door. So I guess this is going back to the colourfulness and the silliness of it. That, for certainly me, helped me navigate my way back, especially when dealing with those keys. You had to put a specific key in a specific door. Once you got through that, one of the doors had another key, which then led you to a door up the stairs to the next level, which I thought was really handy, certainly for me. I liked the kind of random element of it, and as you went through the levels, they kind of looked like them medieval gates, but they didn't appear to open. You could just walk through them and then you fell down a black hole. I'm not sure why I chose to go into one of these rooms. I didn't think the door would open, but I'm glad I did, because it was a nice wee quirk. I guess that's kind of what, you know, the intrinsic charm is about the game, is that it is so rough around the edges, that it has all these little nuances, these just random things just set into the middle of it. I guess that's what I liked about it most. I certainly didn't like the controls, and I certainly didn't like the accuracy of the mouse. I tried it that way, but I ended up just using the arrows. I'm not entirely sure what the point of jumping up to the ceiling level was. Maybe that would have become apparent in later levels, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe that was just another random quirk, I'm not sure. So this was his first attempt. So it was kind of a free-for-all then, really, wasn't it? He wasn't bound by any creative restrictions, I guess. So that's maybe why it is a bit random, why it's so colourful. You know, you could kind of understand why serious game players, maybe perhaps they don't like this game, just because it's not so stringent in its construction. I guess I can see the significance, so he really kind of got all these things that he maybe had in his head out of his system in this first attempt before he refined it for serious kind of gameplay later on whenever he made them other games. Would you call it like a concept game? Of course this game would have been significant because this was the root of everything else, but it became more refined in later years. I thought I was going to hate it. I liked it, and I would maybe play it again if I was bored.
So there you have it, folks. While it's not a ringing endorsement, it's yet another thumbs up, and the first for a game featuring the work of Mr. Silverman. Well done, Ken. A+. Will the streak of good games continue? Find out next time.